Hello there, bird nerds, habitat gardeners, nature nuts, um, plant aficionados. Welcome to Habitat Gardening, Wildlife Gardening, Habitat Gardening, talk back, question and answer. Talk back as best as I can manage it at this current time. um, Today, following up on a query, a question from last week about winter flowering plants for a coastal location. So what I've done is got a little list together. A little list. I think there's about 50 to 70 plants, I think, um, on it. um, and I will turn this into a handout that I am still working out the best way to have them downloadable. I think it is going to be Substack, but I'd love it to be the Bird Emergency website. I'm just still playing around with that. So bear with me for another day or two. I have all of these lists created now um, that I will soon make available to you. And I think we'll try and make that uh, a weekly thing, or with every episode, I think we'll try and do a handout that comes with it. So I know this is not the best way to present uh, 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 present plants. That's why we're going to have to do the handouts with it. And what I'd like to do is work out some kind of minimal membership or something um, to support to defray the costs of doing these things. So I'm still working through that. I'd love to just be able to say, give everything away, but no, it really is costing a lot to do uh, to do this stuff. Um, anyway, first world problems. Uh, Stan from Kangaroo Island TV. Stan's been in Renmark. What a fantastic part of South Australia Renmark is. Um, that that part of South Australia, Millicent, etc., are really good. There is a fantastic native plant nursery in Millicent, or there was last time I was there. I'm assuming it's still there. Um, yeah, safe travels, Stan. Glad you caught the start of the program. What were you doing in Renmark? What was the point of heading over there? Um, we'll see if Stan gives us an answer before he hits the road, and then I will go through this list. I will interrupt reciting the list whenever somebody drops a comment, and we'll talk about whatever people would like to talk about. What have I seen this week that was interesting? Well, it's nice that uh, a lot of the callistemons are in flower in my area. The callistemon viminalis, particularly. So that's keeping a lot of the birds happy. My eucalyptus uh, malleodora and Eucalyptus leucoxylon across the road in the park are just coming into flower. So that's great. And Loz lorikeet is, I've discovered that he loves eating fennel. So they're my big discoveries for the past 7 days. All right, let's go through uh, this list. I'm going to start with 5 grevilleas. So how I've broken it down is 5 of each sort of popular genera that you should be able to find, and the other sort of limiting factor I always say with these is um, I try and pick things that are reasonably well available in the nursery trade. But I do understand that you may have a very limited range, and that is why I am still looking at a way that I can be able to make plants available uh, uh, to viewers and supporters in a way that makes sense. I cannot start a nursery. I am just too limited to that, but I can grow seedlings and cuttings and ship those out. Um, but I need to find a way to make that possible. In a way, I need you guys to demonstrate that that will be something you would like me to do. Um, anyway, Stan says just wanted to get off the island, check out the river, and tick off more RAA charges as I eventually want to use all of them. Okay, you are going to have to tell me now, Stan, what an RAA charger is. Um, I'm guessing it's not Royal Automobile Association, which is what I always think of with RAA, those blue and yellow badges on old classic cars. Hmm. All right, let's start. Let's start with some grevilleas. Three very common cultivars: Grevillea Robin Gordon, red flowering, long flowering, flowers for most of the year, highly bird attractive, very nectivorous. Uh, Grevillea superb, a these three are all very similar looking, and they're all derived from similar parentage. They're all cultivars. Grevillea superb, that is an orangey pink flower rather than a red flower. Uh, Basically flowers all year, but the most of its flowering will be uh, Stan's just distracted me. So it is the Royal Automobile Association of South Australia. Well, there we go. Uh, so that would be the RACV in Victoria and the NRMA. They're all independent bodies. So yeah, um, well, that's pretty cool. If the RAA, the Royal Automobile Association of South Australia, is actually providing or facilitating charging stations, that's very cool. Very cool. Okay, let me get back to these grevilleas. Robin Gordon, red flowering, long flowering, highly bird attractive. Grevillea superb, orangey pink rather than red. Uh, Very similar leaves, divided, lobed, uh, attractive foliage. I like them. Slightly prickly, uh, cause reactions uh, with some people. Can be irritating. So I wouldn't suggest putting them next to a path where you might brush against them with bare legs. Grevillea Ned Kelly, again, looks very much like Grevillea Robin Gordon and Grevillea Superb. Orangey red flowers. Ned Kelly tends to be a smaller, more compact shrub, but really great, a really great one to focus on. Uh, one of my all-time favorite grevilleas, Grevillea lanigera. You can find it with a couple of different foliage forms. For the coastal planting, look for the furry slash woolly variety, and it's a small shrub, generally knee high or below. Uh, there are some forms which are basically ground covers, basically prostate. Pink cream flowers, winter flowering, really good in a coastal situation. I'm I'm going through winter flowering first, and then we'll look at those that are really specialist or most suitable for coastal planting. Grevillea victoriae is a really attractive grevillea with red orange spider flower cluster, long flowering, really good for very cold climate. Like if you get very cold nights, uh, it's a it's a great plant to consider. It is from the sort of subalpine regions in southeast South Australia, southeast Australia, not southeast South Australia. Um, Beautiful plant. One thing I really like about it is it responds really well to pruning, so uh, you can lightly prune it after flowering, and then again later in the year to encourage more flowering for the next season. And it's a good semi-formal hedging plant too. So Grevillea victoriae. Um, should mention you'll often find there's two similar grevilleas to Grevillea victoriae that you may find: Grevillea dimorpha and a cultivar called Grevillea firebird. Um, Similar in use in the garden, but I'm not sure that firebird and dimorpha uh, are going to flower sort of right through and most prolifically in winter. Let's have a look at 5 hakeas. Hakea lorena, that's in flower everywhere at the moment around here. The pincushion hakea. Hakea petiolaris. Um, Pinky purple flowers in petiolaris. Really interesting leaves too. Um, these hakeas have really showy flowers. Uh, Actually, 4 of the 5 do. Um, Hakea lorena, which is a red and white ball or pincushion, spherical flower from a distance. Hakea petiolaris, uh, larger sort of spike flower, um, pinky, pinky more than red. Hakea francisiana, brilliant red poker kind of flowers. Hakea multilineata, I think I spoke about that maybe last week. Um, has a more upright form, and the flowers in this are really, really showy. But the main benefit of those 4 hakeas is that they are mostly winter flowering. Then Hakea salicifolia, the willow leaf hakea. Um, the flowers are creamy, they're smaller, they're far less showy, but insects love them, and the small honey eaters love them and will find them out. So there's 5 good hakeas for you. A couple of melaleucas. Melaleuca timifolia. It's a small growing shrub with mauve purple flowers. I think I talked about that when I did the mauve flowering plants. Melaleuca laterita is sometimes called the robin redbreast melaleuca. Um, Orangey red flowers, small compact shrub. Um, Also, in my experience, where I've grown it in sandy soils, but also in soils that are regularly inundated by heavy rainfall that takes a day or two to drain away, and they've been they've been successful in that situation in Gippsland in Victoria. Melaleuca nesophylla. This is a very common nursery plant. It's a large West Australian melaleuca, mauve, ball shaped flowers, um, and fairly dense in habit. But if you prune it, and it will take regular light pruning, it will also take occasional heavy pruning, and it's a nice one. Now I've got uh, two leptospermums or tea trees here. Leptospermum scoparium, which is uh, commonly called the New Zealand tea tree, but it is also an Australian native. Bees love it, insects love it. Pink or red flowers, and then there is a mass of different cultivars. You'll get double petaled flowers. There's a lot of variety in the leptospermum scoparium and improved forms and cultivars. So look out for that. Generally a little bit prickly, the leaves. Um, Leptospermum polygalifolium is another tea tree you can look out for. Uh, it's more a white or a creamy flowered um, version. A lot of the tea trees are very, very similar in their landscape uses and their sizes, and yeah, really insect attracting. Um, uh, yeah, Stan's got a good one. Oh, Stan spotted a scarlet robin. So very, very good, Stan. Where you're able to definitely tell it was a scarlet robin and not a flame robin. That puts you in expert robin categories, if you can, or if you did, and lots of water birds. Yeah, water birds are really on the move all over the place now. What did I want to? No, I didn't see any water birds of any note this week. I don't think. Okay. Um, Here's some wattles. Now, a couple of these wattles are very adaptable and very common. And I'm going to give you the note that some of them have the potential in some areas to be environmental weeds. Um, Particularly the first one here, but also, uh, all right, Stan says he's not sure. Well, as long as the guy you were cruising around with uh, is good at telling them apart, good stuff. Um, good stuff. Um, where was I? Acacias. Acacia Baileana, the Cootamundra wattle. Extremely common in cultivation. There is, apart from the general grey uh, pinnate leaves, they're, I think they're actually bipinnate. They're very small divisions on those leaves. Um Very common. There is a purpley foliaged variety, apart from just the green foliage variety. Uh, Typical wattle golden ball flowers, highly floriferous. Insects love them. Um, Also respond well to regular moderate pruning. You can shape these plants. Uh, Very rapid growing too, and so a downside of it is it can get quite big and leggy and open and look woody quickly, depending on the situation. But they are in many areas an environmental weed. So Acacia Baileana would not be the first wattle I would look for. It would be the last wattle I would look for. Acacia podaleri, learyifolia, podaleri ifolia, silvery foliage, is uh, its main feature, apart from the bright yellow flowers. It's a stunning plant when it's in flower. Excellent for winter. Excellent for the coast. Acacia floribunda, uh, very common again. Acacia a- Acinaceae, the gold dust wattle. This is a smaller plant, a smaller wattle. Again, very common in the trade. Acacia etiophylla, the Flinders Ranges wattle. Graceful, weeping, arching, smaller dome shaped habit generally. Um, I would look out for that one. I do recommend that one. The benefit you get too with acacias or wattles is after flowering, they do throw their seed pods. And if you've got rosellas and cockatoos, galahs around, they really like cleaning up those the seed pods and the seeds if they're around. And uh, the bronze wings will have a crack at them too if you've got them around. Okay, 5 correas. Correas, most of the correas will flower in winter. Not all of them flower mostly in winter, but all of these ones, these 5 that I'm going to tell you about, all very common in the trade. Correa reflexa, very variable depending on the form that grows in your area. If you have a local one, it can be either greeny yellow, yellow green, right through to red and yellow, red and green. Uh, Beautiful, small, medium shrub. Um, it's in the Rutaceae family, so slightly aromatic as well, the foliage. Um, Easy to manage, respond well to pruning. Honey eaters love them. Uh, Coria alba has a white flower. Um, there are some forms that are a little bit pinkish, and they open as a star shape rather than having a tubular shape like all of the other corias do. Their petals actually pull open, and uh, they're a white star shape, white or white cream. Uh, Insect attracting, but a great coastal planting. Also a great filler in the garden. Coria glabra uh, has glossy leaves compared to the Coria alba. That is more a furry, grey, still green, but grey tinges, slightly hairy. Coria glabra is a dark green, and greeny yellow bells, very floriferous, most of the forms in the trade, and highly bird attracting, especially birds like the spinebills. Eastern spinebills love them. Coria dusky bells is one of the most reliable and most available of the cultivars, the selections um, of the corias, and there's one called Marion's Marvel, which is more of a greeny pink, slightly different leaf form. Um, uh, so that one's pretty nice. Um, Eremophilas, emu bushes. Many of the Eremophila species flower in winter. There is a bit of a caveat with Eremophilas. They can be extremely unreliable in eastern Australia and in southeastern Australia. Um, but you can get many of them are grafted nowadays. But there's also selected forms that do perform well in the eastern, southeastern states. you must have a well drained site for them. Uh, Now, these first three I've seen regularly in nurseries. The second two, much harder to find, but you can get them. They are uh, in nursery catalogues online irregularly, but they're good ones to look out for. Uh, Eremophila maculata is the common emu bush. Uh, has a number of forms, also has a number of selected forms that have very large flowers, but generally they're red or pink or reddy purple flowers. They aren't a tubular flower, so again, the honey eaters love them. The um, Eremophila maculata also responds well to light pruning, um, and you can find it out there in the trade. Eremophila glabra is, I've talked about this one before, uh, often as a prostrate plant, uh, red down to orange or even yellow flowers. Um, Eremophila nivea, you will see this as a grafted plant in the nurseries. It's stunning. I've grown many of them. They're fairly short lived, maybe 4 or 5 years, but they're stunning. They've got this silvery grey, slightly furry foliage, mauve purple, um, deep throated tubular flowers. Again, the honey eaters absolutely love them. And I grew them fine in both in the ground, sandy soil in Gippsland, but also really successfully in tubs, and quite long flowering too. Like the whole three to 4 months of flowering, and with light pruning, you'd get a second flush. So, a big fan of the grafted aromophilus, but they can be very very expensive. So, if you don't want to try a grafted one, um, I s- I would encourage you to build up a raised sandy bed and try them out. Now, uh, these two are really stunning species of Eremophila, but difficult to find, especially in Melbourne. Uh, but you might get lucky. Eremophila decipiens has big, long red flowers, and Eremophila calorhabdos has red flowers, and they're sort of held more vertically rather than the presenting more horizontal or even slightly downward like most of the Eremophila species do. So that's that's a nice place to leave off Eremophilas for now. Banksias, uh, Banksia spinulosa, the hairpin Banksia. You will still find Banksia spinulosas. Some of them labelled as Colina, the hairpin Banksia. Very common in the trade, winter flowering. Banksia ericifolia, you will probably know this when you see it. Orange to slightly orange red flower spikes, a tall open shrub generally, winter flowering. Banksia marginata, long flowering during the year, uh, flowers quite a lot in winter. Uh, Banksia occidentalis, um, less available in the trade, but if you can find it, I'd encourage you to grab it. Scarlet red flowers, and a good ground cover. Banksia bleshnifolia, winter flowering. There are several other um, winter flowering Banksias, and perhaps I'll make another list of those another time. But these are just to give you some ideas. Um, Some others that you'll commonly find in the trade: Darwinia citriodora, uh, greeny red flowers, very variable. The flowers there. Uh, uh, Stan says Stan's checking out. He's off on the road. I'm back on his heading back home. Thanks, Stan. Always fronting up for the hard work of talking plants on a Saturday morning. Uh, yeah, really do want to see what I can do about the mini nursery. Um, but I can only do it if there's some support and interest in it. Really, otherwise there's no point in growing plants people don't want. Uh, Beaufortia Sparta, Sparsa, not Sparta. Stunning, absolutely stunning West Australian red bottle brush flowers. Uh, a really interesting grey foliage. Um, really interesting foliage. Um, it's it's worth trying. I would only put it in a well drained spot. Tomasia purpurea. Funnily enough, with a name like purpurea, it has mauvey pink flowers. Uh, Crowea exhalata. Um, uh, Now, Stan, set up a stall at the local markets. That would be an excellent idea, but I'm sure you remember, Stan. I am vehicle free by choice, so that makes anything like that a very difficult option. What I would be doing would be growing and sending out tubes by mail, but only to supporters of the channel. I've got no interest in being any larger than that. It would be in an effort to support the community. Like for instance, when I talk about some of these plants, for instance, like Banksia occidentalis, that you'll find maybe hard to find. Well, maybe I could grow 30 of them and send them out to 30 supporters of the channel. You know, that's always been my idea of doing like a mixed dozen or a mixed 2 dozen of tubes. uh, Native bee friendly selection and things like that. Anyway, it needs more development because I I have a few other priorities. I desperately need to replace my computer before I start putting more money into uh, a a stock of pots and buying in potting milks in bulk and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, it's still something I do want to do, but we will wait and see. Where did I get to? I got to Tomasia purpurea, didn't I? Crowea exhalata, you will see that uh, it's got a very waxy, open, I think it's 5 petaled, star shaped flower. Uh, these, are, these are all excellent for attracting insects. Beaufortia sparsa will attract nectar feeding birds, but Crowea exhalata, Phobalium squamulosum is the next one. Um, Again, star shaped flowers. They're in the Baronia family. So they have aromatic foliage. So does the Crowea. So does the Darwinia citriodora too. Uh, so they are a good they're good to have near an open window. They're good to have near paths, uh, so you can take advantage of the aromatic foliage. Now I've got a couple of small ornamental trees in this list. I do have another list coming up of uh, winter flowering eucalypts and corymbias. I thought we'd go. Well, we'll see how we're going with time. I might leave that for another list. I've done the list though. Eucalyptus, cassia, or caesia. I'm never sure. The silver princess. You'll see that in many many, 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 many nurseries. A stunning plant with a weeping habit when it gets up and growing. Does like a well drained soil, a sunny position as well. Uh, Pinky rose flowers, but they opens up with these the silvery gum nuts, and they're yeah, they're a beautiful plant. Eucalyptus torquata or the coral gum, red pink bell flowers. Eucalyptus erythronema, the red flowered mallee. Uh, this is one that I would love to grow and get out to people because you don't see it very often out in the trade, but it's a stunning plant when it's in flower. Red, bright red flowers, as its name, the red flowered mallee might indicate. Uh, Now, Brachychiton rupestris. This is the bottle tree, and they're actually growing at my local train station or at one of the local train stations. Uh, a really interesting plant to have in the garden just because of its trunk, but they flower in winter. And actually, there's a couple of different brachychitons that flower in winter. Um, I don't see the birds visiting them quite so often. And then Alocasuarina tortuosa. Flowers are very subtle, but they are there in the winter. Followed up, of course, by she oak cones if you have the female plant, and um, and of course the seed eaters appreciate them, particularly the pigeons. Um, okay, a couple of small plants to finish up with. Philotheca myoporoides, white pink flowers, starry flowers like we were talking about the Crowea and the Phibalium, very similar flower types. Isopogon anemonifolius, bird attracting. It is a um, Proteaceae family in the same family as the Hakeas, Grevilleas, Banksias. Uh, Excellent bird attracting plant. Um, yellow globe flowers, but it sort of starts out a little bit like a thistle. Anyway, if you find any isopogons in your nursery, I would encourage you to grab one or two or three and give it a go. Scaevola amula, I've talked about scaevolas a lot in the past. They're ground covers. They're called the fan flower. I would always encourage you to give those a go. Um, One of the native daisies is next, Illyria flogopapa. Uh, White or pinky white, small daisy flowers, again in winter. A beautiful landscape plant, fills space, so it can bulk up beds, and again, very insect attracting. Small insects love them. Uh, and of course, daisy seeds. The small parrots will come and visit them, and when they're when they're just about to disperse their flowers, finches will also come and have a crack at them too. Uh, Last one, Thryptomene saxicola. Often you will see it labelled as FC Pain or Painii. Small shrub, quite leggy, dainty, uh, pink flowers, beautiful one. Uh, well worth well worth a go. Now let me see. I don't think Charlie's even here this morning. So what I might do, I might leave the coastal list for next time. I'll actually, uh, And actually, a lot on the coastal list we've already talked about, but I do have a lot more different cultivars that are available in the nurseries. Yeah, I have. I might leave that one for now. I might leave the winter flowering eucalypts too uh, for another one. What have we got? I've got a list of uh, about 20 winter flowering eucalypts. I might just work those up. Uh, yeah, I think that's what we might do. Uh, we might finish those. Uh, we might finish up here. I think. Enjoy your weekend. If you're interested in that idea that I was just kicking around of me growing selections of plants, only up to sort of tube stock uh, level, so the age where they're able to be planted out. If you're interested in that, let me know, and we'll work out a way to do it. Best way to let me know that is to hit me up on well, in the comments on YouTube would be the best way to go. Or if you must, you could on Facebook, but YouTube would be the best way to go. Birdemergency.com/YouTube, of course. Okay, everyone, have a great weekend. I hope you not too cold. It's still, well, it's winter in Melbourne. It's cold. Uh, See you soon. I hope we'll be back here at the same time next Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Please ensure you are subscribed to the Bird Emergency YouTube channel. See ya.